won't you please?
We're who you should be listening to, admit it. The prettiest Tiff in Carolina, get it? Love, family, and friends, this be the energy, a better understanding so we can all be complete. Each time spitting raw and unrehearsed, either in your feelings or laughing till it hurts. Love and Flaws, the show that you all need. Join us every week for the best of us, guaranteed.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go. Why, that puts me in the mood every time I hear it.
Every time.
Bobby hype. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, Phil?
What's going on, brother?
What's up, sis? Yo, this is the Love and Flaws podcast with Tiff and Sen. I'm your man, Carolina Sen. That is the absolute most prettiest Tiff. Tiff, how you doing, mama?
I'm good. We got a special guest for just a minute.
Look, ain't nothing wrong with that. We as real as it gets. Aw. Yeah, we as real as it gets. So it's all good.
All good.
I'm excited. We starting to get things together. We got new lighting and stuff.
New lights. Lights, camera,
Tiff
action.
Look at you, pretty Tiff, right? We gonna have some backdrops covered. We getting it together. Like I said, we wanted to jump off and just quit procrastinating, putting it off, get the show started. Quality is going to continue to get better and better. We appreciate everybody who's rocking with us. Man, for real, we love y'all. So
we love y'all.
Yeah. So we here. We're going to have a change. I'm going to let Tiff about to run the show today. So,
you know, that's what we do. That's
Tiff
what
got
we do.
this. So Tiff, tell me what's, I got a little bit of wine on
my brother is sipping with me tonight.
I'm with her today.
I
you know what I'm saying?
Stay with wine. My brother is sipping, so salud.
Salute.
Salud.
So Tiff, what it is? What's good?
So listen, family. First of all, I just want to piggyback off of brother. Thank all of y'all for supporting, for loving us. We've been getting so much feedback, and I've personally had, as well as I know brother has had, people who have asked for us to talk about certain things and to bring certain things to the forefront. So that's what we're going to do today. So we're going to jump into it. And today, what we are going to talk about is independent women and the struggles that men have when dealing with an independent woman.
Huh.
Okay? So, brother, they want to hear from a man's point of view, you know, what the struggles are that you see and feel with dealing with an independent woman. Now, first, what I want you to do, brother, is I want you to explain in your words what you feel like an independent woman is, okay? And then I want you to talk about the struggles of dealing with that type of independent woman. So let's go.
All right. How many times have I said it, man? I'm different. I'm just different, too. I'm not offended with you. I'm just saying, like, to say that we struggle. So I know as an overall thing, that's probably true. But to say that a man struggles with dating or being with an independent woman, that if you struggling with it, that's clown behavior, like I'm always talking about. Like, if you can't, so when you brought it, you was like, yo, we got somebody that wants to do this, let's talk about it. I know exactly what you're talking about, right? Like, I get that there are men that don't know how to be with an independent woman.
Right.
So I just think there's a few things that causes that, right?
Okay.
But overall, I don't think that's just every man, right? Like, I have, in fairness, I have not dated a bunch of independent women, but I've been with women who were independent. And all right, so we'll get to that. Like, what you said was you wanted to know what I thought an independent woman was.
Mm-hmm.
In my mind, and now again, we don't pre-script any of this, so I'm just saying don't come for me, ladies. If I say something, I'm just trying to get it right. In my mind, an independent woman is a woman who is self-sufficient, and a man is not needed but wanted to complement their life, right? So they have their own source of income, and I'm not putting a status on it that they are
like they make a certain amount, or
right, but they can take care of themselves or their children if there's children involved, right? You know, they've got a home that they take care of. Like, they're doing everything on their own, and they are able to do that and be successful at it. I was gonna say and be happy, but you know, whether or not you want to be with somebody or not can be a part of what your happiness is. But like, you're doing it and you're fine. You know what I mean? Like, it's yeah, you may want to share. We all want to share life with somebody,
your life, right?
You know what I mean? But you're doing it at a successful rate, and for somebody to come into your life, they've got to provide things that benefit you, whether it's, even if it's just emotional support or whatever. They've got to compliment you, because you, like what the song said, you can do bad all by yourself. Right? So if you already got things together, you taking care of your kids, you got a job, you got your car, whatever, or if you're in a place, you know, some places public transportation, but you got your life together, you are independent and not in need of anybody else. Need is the key word, right? Like, I don't need you. I can get by fine without you. Over here spitting, but I can get fine by without you. I'd like you to come into my world and help make my world better.
Yeah.
So to me, that's what an independent woman is.
Okay. So now, with what you said,
right,
as what you feel an independent woman is, what do you feel like the hurdles or roadblocks are?
Because most of us are
dealing with the independent woman.
Most of us are clowns, right? Like we talk about it almost every week. Oh, you don't need me? Because that's what we want. We want you to need. We want you to need us. And for a lot of men, their ego can't take that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's difficult. We've been hardwired for that too, right? Like, go out, find a good man that's going to take care of you and support you and all that. The same way y'all were taught that, you know what I mean? Like, kind of given that traditionally, men was like, you know, you got to be able to take care of your family. You got to be able to da.
Right.
When I meet somebody that the only thing she needs from me is emotional support and to share moments with, they men, clowns can't handle that.
Yeah.
Listen, and I'm not perfect by any means. There's layers to it. There's dynamics. Usually an independent woman is typically busier than someone who's not. And again, I'm not trying to cast aspersions on anybody for any reason, but we'll be 1,000, right? An independent woman that's handling her business is not just laying around all day, because she's got to handle her business. I'm not knocking housewives. I'm not knocking anybody that, if you're fortunate enough where you can lay around all day and chill out, then I'm not trying to tear anybody down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just speaking generally. An independent woman is out there handling her business. So she's not just at his beck and call anytime. You know what I mean? And especially if she's got kids. Right? Like, especially if she's got kids. You know what I mean? I was talking to a friend of mine now that's in North Carolina. She's like, oh, I spend, you know, my days are busy. I'm working, and then I'm taking my kid to this and that. You know what I mean? Like, so as a man, you coming in, oh, you mean I ain't your only priority? What you mean? You got to, the idea to have to schedule me in as a man, right? For a lot of men, that's mind-boggling to them. What you talking about? What you talking about? I'm here. I just stepped in the scene. You're supposed to be all about me. So it's hard for them to grasp that you can be all about somebody but they not be your entire world or priority.
Right.
Because she still got to handle her business in case
you don't work out.
You know what I mean? Like, she can't just be like, oh, I'm dictified right now, so let me just quit handling my business.
Right.
Yeah, I'm a forced to go everything else that I've been normally doing, my regular routine or whatever I got that's been taking care of me this whole time, so that I can just be whenever you call me or whenever you want to do something.
That part.
Now, don't get me wrong. There's a compromise that has to be done.
Absolutely.
Right? As a woman, again, ladies, don't come for me. This is just my opinion. When you decide that you're going to start dating and you've got all that going on, you do have to kind of be like, okay, you don't have to. You could be like, he got to come into my world and just hit the ground running and just be a part of it.
That ain't gonna work though.
I don't think I think it can work. It depends on how maybe submissive the guy is, right? Or you got to me, what is more realistic is you're like, okay, I know I've got all this going on. I do have to carve out a little bit of time for somebody else, because to say like, oh, you just got to deal with me being busy, that don't work for us either, right? Because we do, even though men try to be hard asses, we do have emotional needs that need to be met too.
And y'all will lose interest very quickly.
Right. Like, there got to be some, and it ain't, I was going to say affection, but there's got to be a benefit, right?
Right.
Unless it's just a random hookup, but then that's not even a relationship. That's just that's just what that is. But if you're talking about an actual relationship, you can't be, and I see this a lot. I do see that ladies like, I got all this going on. If you're going to come be a part of my life, you just got to fit right in. Nah, that don't make sense. You got to compromise something. Now, I'm not saying you got to compromise to where you put your integrity of your other things at risk. But you do have to be like, okay, I am going to have to, like, at least, a couple hours out of the week, whether it be for phone calls or FaceTiming or going out to dinner. Like, you can't just be, I want you to be in my life, because then it flips. Like, the same reason the weak ones that can't handle it, now you the one saying, well, you just got to be at my beck and call whenever I got 15 minutes or I got an hour, or I just happen to, we closed the deal early, so I do have the next 2 nights off. Now you being what you don't want in them. You becoming what you hate. You know what I'm saying? So that's that. There's also clown behavior is intimidation, right? So we go out on the first date. We start talking, and I learned that you are this independent woman, that you handling all your business, da-da-da. They're going to be dudes that they run for the hills.
Yeah.
Or even worse, they know they don't like that, but they still try to win you over, hoping I could change her, or once she gets some of this, she'll be more about me. Now I'm playing with your heart, even though you was up front with me about, and
told me right.
So, but they intimidate.
And I think with, and this is coming from the woman's point, I'm a very independent woman, and I think this is probably where our supporter was coming from. I think she wanted to hear from a man's point of view, what the struggles are. But I also think as women, a lot of the times we are so quick to tell a man, you got to do this, you got to do that. But when they require certain things, then it's like, I got too much going on. Like, we don't know how to turn off being that independent woman for a moment or for a day.
There's a power dynamic.
Yeah.
Right. So I guess the simple answer would be, what's hard for men is really they've got to be able to relinquish some of the control or their pride, they can't be prideful about things, right? Because an independent woman is going to want to put her input in decisions that she may make decisions. She may like, yo, let's do this. Let's whatever.
Yeah.
You got to be able as a man to not feel, what is it? Emasculated or whatever it is. Just demasculated, whatever it is, right? You can't feel less of a man because your woman is handling her business or helping make decisions.
Yeah.
And it's tough. Man pride, I talk about it all the time to like other people and stuff. Man pride is our biggest downfall.
Well, you know what I saw earlier today? I was watching and a woman said, men have egos, but women are prideful, because the opposite of pride is shame, and women don't like to feel shame.
So men have egos, we're more but women are prideful.
But men have egos, right? So, and I thought about it, I said, dang, that makes sense, because men don't like that right? So if you think about a man coming into an independent woman's world,
right,
and she doesn't make him a priority for whatever reason, he doesn't feel a priority. I shouldn't say she doesn't make him,
because she's busy, because of the other things,
because whatever the reasons are,
right,
she doesn't make him or make him feel like he's a priority. His ego is hurt.
Right.
It's not his pride, it's his ego. But the woman is so prideful that even if he comes to her and says, look, babe, you're not, I don't feel like a priority. Now she feels shame, right? Because instead of her taking in what he's saying, right, her pride is hurt because she feels shameful.
Right.
And so then she goes into a defensive mode. And that makes total sense to me.
That's the reaction, right?
Absolutely.
Like, oh, you think I'm not doing enough for you?
Right. Or I'm not, or what I'm doing isn't already good enough.
Right. Like, no, you in my world, homie.
Right. Like, I got a child, 2 children, 3 children, and you sitting there complaining because I can't open my legs every 2 hours, or I can't go out on a date with you every weekend because my kids got this. So now it's like you making me feel shame.
Right.
Right? You're attaching shame to what I'm doing.
I'm gonna tell you, I ain't gonna be popular for this, but exactly what you're talking about. So when men talk about we not allowed to share our feelings and be upset about anything, that's what happens. When we voice our concern about something.
No, you're right.
Now you are upset, and it changes from us working out whatever we was feeling to now I gotta make you not mad at me now.
Because now I gotta make you feel unashamed.
Right. So now I'm like, yo, I just feel like we've had a disconnect. Like I'm not feeling like I feel like we should be more whatever. Then that defense kicks in. Now you mad. You giving me the silent treatment, or you walk out, slam a door. Now I gotta shift.
Or you withholding sex.
Right. So now I got to shift from, well, damn, I was just trying to communicate how I feel, to now I got to make her feel better. Like, babe, come here. I'm sorry. Come here. Like now I'm apologizing and I couldn't voice that toxic relationship that I was in. That was me all day. I couldn't be upset about. I couldn't have no feelings about anything. Now I'm obviously hurt from that or whatever. So like that's why I brought it. But that happened. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't voice my opinion. Like, because if I said I was upset about something, now it became some kind of problem, or she was upset, she was mad, and now I'm worried about is fixing the problem. So that's the same kind of thing that happens there.
Right. Well, you're no longer worried about fixing the problem. You're worried about trying to make her feel better.
Right. It's a new problem now. Now you're upset. Now you're upset. Right. But in fairness to women, a lot of men are doing that because they just can't handle. Like they can't handle it. Like there's short of you giving up your independency, there's almost nothing you're gonna be able to do to satisfy some of these men for that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So like, So that's got to be tough for y'all to be able to try and distinguish between clown behavior or genuine. I need genuine objectivity.
I need you. Yeah.
Right. Like, am I genuinely not doing enough, or is he just wanting me to not be as independent as I am?
See, now I think as an independent woman, see, you know, brother, you say you different, but I really feel like I'm different. And
okay.
And the reason that I say that is because I really feel like as a woman, and I'm not saying this to like have a ego or toot my own horn.
Nah, toot it. Beep, beep, go ahead. Let's go.
But when a man comes into my life, I'm very good at balancing. I have 3 kids now. My children are older, but even when they were younger, you know, if I was dating someone, hence why I've been married, because the attention that I'm going to make my man feel, even as an independent woman and doing what I have to do and not skipping a beat on that.
Right.
They like, dang, you don't come around often. So they want to hold on to that. And even a lot of my friends will be like, I need help in this area with being more affectionate and coddling. And like, I'm that woman, like, I'm going to tell you how good you look every day.
So
you know what I'm saying?
So do you think there's, is there a confusion between actually like being independent and not making them feel wanted, or people having issues?
No, and that's what I was going to get to. You just hit the nail on the head. Like, because I think women see it as one way and men see it as another way, right? So if you're in a relationship with a man and you're an independent woman, right?
Right.
And let's say he comes in and he's having a bad day.
Okay.
Instead of, and this is how I feel most independent women get it, like they get confused.
Right. They get it twisted.
Coming in, right. Get it twisted. Now, he may come in from work, had a hard day. Now, you've been running around working, taking care of kids. Maybe y'all not living together. Maybe y'all are living together. Whatever. A man is more fragile than women. He is.
Nope. Right.
Men are more fragile than women.
We are.
You are.
Yeah.
And when he comes in from that hard day of work, he needs a little bit more attention than what a woman would need coming in from a hard day at work. So you've been running around as an independent woman, taking care of kids, getting them lunches, getting them in the bath, getting them ready, doing homework. You just got off of work. You trying to cook dinner, whatever, right?
Let me add one caveat. I think when we have a bad day, we take it worse.
Okay.
Right?
Well, that's what we're talking about. And this is where I'm saying where the independent woman gets twisted in women's mind, right? So he comes in, he needs that attention. She sees it as, you want me to drop my priorities for you, and this is what I got to do because this is what I do all the time. But it's okay to drop those priorities for a minute.
Right.
It's you have to do that if you're gonna make a successful relationship work. But instead of the woman looking at it that way, she looks at it like, oh, so you trying to. Here's another example. I had a friend of mine who was dating a high value man, right?
Okay.
She's an independent woman. He was like, I need a woman that could be able to stop what she's doing at a drop of a dime to go take a trip with me, right? Hold on, just hear me out.
Okay.
So my independent woman friend was like, I ain't got time for that. Like, I got a job and I got this. But hold on, you're not listening to what he's saying. If he's not a clown, he knows that you just can't jump up at the drop of a dime. But what he wants to hear is that you will make a sacrifice.
Right, Tiff, you are different. You different.
That's what he wants to hear.
You understand.
Yo, you will make a sacrifice. And I be trying to tell my girlfriends this, like, just like sometimes we don't say exactly what we mean. He's just trying to get a gauge on, yo, if I really was like, yo, because how many women are like, my man need to make plans. Don't just ask me what I'm doing.
Right.
I need to know what time to be ready.
Don't say, don't say, it's whatever you want. Say, be outside, pick me up at 8 o'clock.
So now the man is saying, yo, I might holler at you and be like, I need you to come with me and meet me at the airport. And now that's a problem.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
He wants to know that you're like, yeah, I'll make you a priority if that, because you're right. Very few, unless they're just ridiculously rich, very few are going to be like, hey, it's 2:30, be at the airport by 4 o'clock. That ain't going to happen. Right.
And let me tell you real quick, if he is that rich, he gonna be like, baby, and I'm gonna put a couple dollars in your pocket for work that you missing.
I was gonna get to that. I was saying, yeah, if he like Kardashian rich like that, like the private jet is at the thing we leaving tonight to go to the Bahamas, and you go, man, I don't have any more sick time. He gonna be like, how much do you make per year? 40,000. I'm gonna put 20 in your account right now. Go, please be at the airport at 4 o'clock, like I asked. You know what I mean? Like, but if he's well off, he's running a business too, and he's taking care of things. It's gonna be more. It's actually, like you said, sometimes we don't say things the right way. It's actually gonna be more of a, hey, Tiff, this weekend, let's shoot down to Turks and Caicos. Can you make that happen?
Right.
Now, even if you can't, and you're like, I got a big project that's due Monday, and we're spending some extra time on it this weekend. If he's not a clown, he's gonna be like, all right, let's plan it for next weekend then.
Mm-hmm.
He's not
exactly.
Really,
if you express to him that it's something important that can't be moved, he's gonna understand that.
Right.
But the problem is independent women don't give the man the opportunity to even get to that point.
I agree with
because their independent wheels start kicking. Like, so you just want me to risk everything I got? But that's not what
it's defense first. It's defense first.
Why? Because
like they call you a girl. Can you believe this man just said, can you do this weekend?
And that's what she did. She was like, girl, he said, and I was like, oh, stop. Like, just stop and think about what you're saying, y'all. Like, she was like, well, I said, stop. Think about what he is saying.
Right.
And then later on, she was like, well, yeah, I understand that. I said, but you're not even giving him the chance to get to that part. Like, you just going, because you're so independent and you're thinking about what you got going on instead of thinking about what this man is saying to you.
Right. It's like when we say something like, yo, I'm going to do this for you. I don't need you to do that for me. I know that. I didn't say you needed me to. I'm just, and then like you said, then people are like complaining, I shouldn't have to ask you to do certain things.
Right.
You can't have it both ways. You can't
exactly. 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 And I think, and like I said, I don't know if that was embedded in me. I have to give my mother a shout out because she did a wonderful job with her daughter.
She did an amazing job. Thank
you. I love you, Susan. But she always taught me to be able to do for myself.
Right.
Right. She never wanted me to be a single mom, but she always set me up to be a single mom. And some people be like, see, that's the problem. No. Her thing was just understand as a woman that most of the time, the responsibility of raising children falls on the woman if that relationship does not work out. So be prepared for that. But when a man does come into your life, this is how you treat him.
Right.
These are the things that you do. Right. So I've always been very good
at being
able to balance that.
There's a whole other issue at hand.
What?
Because I was gonna say, I'm gonna lose my fans now. You know what I'm saying? But like,
never.
Sometimes Sometimes we just not what we think we are. Right? So like I'm always talking about dudes having clown behavior. Ladies, y'all can exhibit clown behavior too. And that's what you're talking about. Cause I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking as you're talking, well, there's a difference between an actual independent woman and the type of woman you talking about. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because I'm like, you describing a clown. I'm not talking about your friend or whatever, but I'm like, you describing a clown to me. Because if you can't, you got to be open.
Right.
You can be independent.
You have to be.
Right. You can be independent and still be open to things happening. If you're not, how independent are you really? You just being. Come on.
Listen, I was just thinking when you were talking, and I'm listening to you, and I'm like, yo, sometimes as women we think we got it all together, but we really don't.
Right. I'm gonna tell you,
because listen, being independent is that when the pieces fall, I could pick all of the mothers up.
Yo.
Every last one of the pieces I'm picking up.
What I tell you
That's
before.
What it means.
What I tell you
That's
before.
what makes me independent.
Like when I said the principle applies in all sorts of things. When I say I'm an alpha male, that's an independent woman is the version of an alpha male.
An alpha male, right?
Right? I'm an alpha male. A true alpha male can coincide with other alpha males in the same room. I don't feel threatened. Your alphaness. Come
on, brother.
Your alphaness does not threaten mine. My light's not gonna dim just because you're getting some shine right now. So if you're a real independent woman, you're not fazed by somebody offering to do something or wanting to do something or to take lead or take charge. Because it's not going to change that you are an independent woman. You trying to coexist with somebody.
Snaps,
you know what I'm saying? So
all
like,
that.
I'm like, cause then if not, it feels like you feel kind of threatenished. I'm making up words.
Threatenished.
You feel kind of threatenished. I'm from the South. That's what we do. Because if you was truly independent, that wouldn't scare you.
That wouldn't faze you.
Or make you feel some kind of way. It's when that crosses over to disrespect that you got to be like, nah, I'm good. But an offer is not disrespect.
It's not.
Expressing how I want more. It's not disrespect. At some point, you got to be a grown up and decide, well, what you want, I can't give you right now.
Yeah.
And that's still not a threat to your independence.
No.
You want more time?
Better yet, what you're asking for, I don't know how to give.
Or that too.
Tell me what that looks like to you.
Right. We got to have a conversation without you feeling a threat to your independence. I can either say, hey, like you said, I don't know how to do that. What do you suggest? Like, let's talk about it. What am I doing to not make you feel that way? Right? Or I recognize what you're asking of me. And unfortunately, at this time, I can't give you the extra 10 hours a week you want because I got this going on. And at right now, at my point in my life, I'm not sacrificing that.
That right. Yep.
Or you're willing to make the changes. It depends on what value you place on. But at no point in time do you need to be like, nah, nigga, I'm an independent woman. You can't ask me that.
Right.
The nerve, the audacity, nigga. You can't ask me that.
And that's exactly it. And if you think about, and this is a little off topic, but still, if you think about the women who walk around, like you said earlier, who think that they're a certain thing that you're not necessarily,
right? And
your standards are up here, like we talked about the high value man and high value woman.
Right.
You in your heart as a woman feel like you up here, but a dude looks at you and is like, baby girl, you really right here.
Yo.
Instead of taking offense to that, because I can guarantee you men's concept of, and this is my opinion, men's concept of what they want in a woman and a woman aligns more than what women want in a man, because we're so different.
Oh yeah,
and we're wishy-washy, right? Most men want the same things or look for the same things in a woman.
The majority of them, right?
Women are all over the place with our shit,
right?
Like we just are. So if a man is telling you, baby girl, nah,
right,
that ain't it.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you where I'm gonna tell you where I first applied it. Like, ho, you may not ho. I didn't say oh. I meant not ho. I wasn't calling nobody a ho. I want to be clear, because the way it sounded when I said it, I was like, I don't know that it came out properly.
Because it did sound like you said ho.
Right. I was saying hold on. Like, and I stopped mid.
Did you give the disclaimer? You gave the disclaimer.
I just want to be clear. So the first time that I thought about this whole, maybe you see, I said it again. The first time I thought about this whole, you may not be the person you think you are. Servers, right?
Right.
Like there's a lot of I've been in the industry, so every time a server doesn't get a good tip, they're like, yo, these people was cheap. Well, maybe you wasn't the greatest server that you thought you was.
Right. Maybe you didn't do something that they expected of you.
We always think that it's the accountability thing we talked about before.
Yeah.
Right? Like, oh, you was in class, like, oh, I was maybe you wasn't the great student you thought you was.
You didn't deserve that A.
I'm just saying, like, maybe you didn't do everything in every aspect of life. We complain, like, oh, they da. Well, maybe you didn't live up to your end of the bargain.
That's right.
So maybe you're not as independent as you think you are.
And that's why I'm a big believer on looking within first, right? So if you if me and you were talking, brother, and you like, look, Tiff, you know, I might think I'm funny, I might think I'm attractive, and this is just for the sake of this conversation. And you say, look, sis.
She said, listen, y'all, this is just for the sake of this conversation, because I know I'm the shit. As you should, queen. As you should.
But if you come to me like, sis, I ain't like the way you wore your hair. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because on the podcast, it covered up whatever. And I'm like, well, I paid $80 to get my hair done, and I know that it looked good. Instead of listening to what you're saying, that's clown behavior.
Sometimes we the problem. Because we get that all the time. Because men do it, because there's more men clowns than there are women clowns.
Right.
I'm going to admit that.
Yeah.
We do it all the time, and y'all are like, maybe you wasn't as good of a man as you thought you was. Maybe you wasn't as good in bed as you thought you was. Sometimes we the problem.
Right.
But like I said, even though I talk about it more with men because we display clown behavior more frequently.
Yeah.
Ladies, y'all could be clowns too.
But you know what I think with women, when they display clown behavior, and maybe I'm stretching, but I feel like it's more detrimental.
Oh yeah.
Because like we said, men are more.
It's like this is your child, and it ain't. It's deeper. Like y'all clown behavior hurts.
You the only one I've ever been with, and
all right, yo, we
your Krusty body list is crazy.
We Krusty the Clown from The Simpsons. Y'all it in the motherfucking sewer, kidnapping, killing motherfuckers. We clown ha. Y'all clown scary. Y'all clown scary.
Oh,
we clown ha.
And listen, I just, and this is why I love this shit, because I'm that woman that's gonna tell other women, like, yo,
I'm saying,
like, I know women that walk around like, and don't get me wrong, women are beautiful. You've talked about that, and I'm that woman, like, but Some of us ain't where we think we are or where we should be. You living in your mama house. You got 3 or 4 kids living in your mama house. You might drive a nice car, but you ain't even got your own place to come home to. But you worried about niggas paying your bills.
Maybe they trying to get
it. You can't even pay your own bills.
Maybe they trying to get it together, Tiff. We can't knock everybody for living in their mama house.
No.
Help.
I'm not knocking it. But what I'm saying is,
be aware.
Right. And understand, if you can't do it for you, my friends will tell you when we're together talking, oh, this nigga, I say, stop. Can you do that for yourself?
Right. You different, too. You different.
Let me tell you, I expect certain things because I know if I go out here, I can do it on my own. Right. So I'm not gonna allow you to bring less into my life.
Right.
But am I gonna ask a dude to go buy me a Birkin?
If you can't buy,
I can't buy me a Birkin.
I don't even. In fairness, I don't even think that's bad if you set that expectation to begin with. I do understand what you're saying about people need to be more accountable and stuff, but
yeah,
it is more of an expectation that your man's gonna do more for you. Maybe it's wrong, right? But I do feel like there's an expectation.
I think that's wrong.
That your man's gonna do more for you than you could do for yourself.
Well, no. I think he should bring something in. Right,
but you different. You are definitely different in that.
How can you listen to this? Come on, brother. This is
preaching to the
1 + 1, right?
Right.
I meet a dude, and I'm like, he's like, I'm interested in you. I want to take you out.
Right.
So I'm like, that. Let's go out. He like, but we got to go to Applebee's, okay? And we might got to do the 2 for $35, not the 2 for $20, but the 2 for $35.
Right.
And I turn my nose up at him and say, "Nah, I'm trying to go to Ruth Chris."
Right.
But I can't even afford Ruth Chris on myself.
That's the way it is, though, Tim.
You can't expect somebody to love you in a way that you don't love you.
We're not living in that world. We're not living in.
And that's the problem.
Listen, because they chicks that can't afford Taco Bell. But if I was like, let's run up to Taco Bell, you get anything you want on the menu, they gonna be like, nah. I'm just saying, that's not.
I'm different. Because let me tell you something, baby. You asked me to go to Taco Bell, I'm gonna say yes, just like if it's because for me, it's the fact that you're willing to take your time out and spend your money on me.
Right. You are
to go
rare.
To Taco Bell, because I don't know what your circumstances are.
There are exceptions, and you are one of those. But most women want the first date to be impressive. And to them, that's not. There are women that say, listen, if I'm into that, depends on how much you into them off the first impression. I really think that plays into it, right? Like it's the same thing when like they talk about the Grey's. What was the sexual movie? Grey. What?
Oh no.
50 Shades of Grey.
50
right?
Shades of Grey. Yeah.
If he wasn't rich, that's a serial killer.
She never did all of that.
Right. You know what I mean? So it depends on how much you into the person.
So, but what does that make you? That makes you whole behavior, and I'm not saying whole behavior is bad in all cases.
I just want it to be noted on the record. She actually saying ho. I wasn't saying ho.
But no, I'm serious because you're trading services, right? For good.
What I say? What did I say it was? I don't know if we've aired that episode or not, but what did I say it was? Legalized prostitution.
Listen, and don't get me wrong. Now, if I was the type of woman that I had $300,000 sitting in the bank somewhere, right? And I was in a position where I could go fly around the world whenever I wanted to, and I expected a man to be able to bring that same. That's different. But if
we've switched roles, Tiff. You know, usually it's you sitting over there, but brother, you different. That ain't how. Now I'm like, Tiff, that ain't real world. That's not real world. And it's only getting worse because of that culture we talked about.
Yeah. Like
with what's being pushed. You know what I'm saying?
So
like,
guess what? It's so many women that's gonna end up alone.
Yeah. Or in what did I see? If that's the value you putting on it, because here's the worst. Oh man, we can get into it. Here's the worst part. Like, you putting that kind of value on yourself, but then when the man go to tell you to do something, you don't want to do it, right? And they like, but the value you put on yourself was monetary, which means you are relinquishing power. You are relinquishing control. But so you want the benefits of that, but you don't want to relinquish that control either. That's where you're gonna end up alone. Because that same high value man that can pay $15,000 for that bag, and then all of a sudden you talk it back. I'm not saying it's right, ladies. I'm not saying it right.
Right, but it is what it is.
He about to go find somebody else to spend $15,000 on that bag, because that's the only value.
Nothing.
That's the only value you put on that relationship. Well, shit. Then he could go spend it on somebody else, gonna do whatever he wants, or trade you in once you're not looking the way that you used to look.
Come on.
Hey, it's real out here.
It's gonna get and all of these hot girl summers, and
it happens though. It already happens. Listen, what happens? These dudes, unless you get a good one, they some good dudes with money,
right?
Or you settle for the less attractive, the nerdy one, or what we like. But out there, but the ones that hits all these checklists, he's super fine, he's 6'6", da-da-da.
Right.
Yeah, well, the moment you start slacking, he's replace you, because you only put a monetary value on it. He can go to the same club he met you in 2 years ago, and they're going to be a 2-year younger version.
5-year younger.
And all he got to do is whip out that black card, and she going home to do the same things you was doing. But she not talking back. She's not trying to be crazy, like whatever it is. Not even bad things, sensible things that you should expect.
Exactly.
In a good relationship. Once you start asking of these things, if he don't want to provide those for you, I'm talking about normal shit. Like, he don't want to listen to you having a bad day. Nah, because that ain't what he was paying for. You know what I'm saying? That ain't what he was paying for. Now you on God's internet talking about this nigga he don't give me no affection. He wasn't paying for that.
No, he was paying for that ass.
Right. So it was. And that's all good and dandy when you're reaping the benefits of it. But then when you get on the back end and it's not, we done shifted we ain't even on independent women no more. We done
but no, hold on. We are, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because most, and we're not talking about are you really independent or not. Most women who see themselves as independent are the ones who distribute those characteristics, but you're not where you are, baby.
Right, the ones who
you're
ain't
not
really
independent.
You're right, the ones who ain't really.
And that's what the whole thing was that I was leading up to. You're not.
Right. You're right.
Because you can't do none of this for yourself. Right? You go to a dude, you think he's supposed to do it, but then when he be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna do that, but these are my expectations, you sitting there looking like, but why?
Right. Because that's what I'm paying. That's what I'm paying for, ho.
Right, and you independent.
Right.
So guess what?
You're an independent contractor.
Handle your shit.
You're an independent contractor. Cash for ass. I'm sorry, ladies. I know I came off rough this episode, but we're trying to be real with y'all. We're trying to be real with y'all.
Yeah, and I think as women, and like I said, going back to that young lady earlier, when I saw the feed, and I was like, and I shared it because I was like, yo, this is so important. As women, we have got to get out of this
mindset.
Right. Thank you. This mindset of, what not wanting to hear what is wrong with us.
Facts.
And I listen, I'm different, but I've been guilty of that at times. You know what I'm saying? But I've always taken pride in knowing that when someone told me something, I never let it get the best of me. Like, even if in that moment, my kids, and I do this for everybody, kids, friends.
What's Mama Tiff's name? Suzanne?
Susan.
Not everybody has Susans, though. You know how we was talking about with men? I know it sounds funny, but you know how we was talking about with men not being taught how to be emotionally like attached and stuff like that.
Right.
Not everybody, not all these ladies, not all these young girls got Susans.
Yeah. And you know, I have to also give credit. My brothers were a big part of especially my older brother.
Right.
Blood brother. He was a huge part of raising me. He was.
Was Susan his mama too?
Yes.
What I say.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
A lot of the world's issues that we be solving on here boil down to if we just brought our kids up differently.
Yeah.
If we just talk, because a lot of the stuff we talking about is just basic.
Yeah, that's
basic
true.
Emotional understanding. We got to do better of passing that healthy emotional stuff along with our children. That's what it really boiled down to.
Yeah. And I think we need to be real with, and listen, I'm using this term and I'm using it probably loosely, and I shouldn't. But we also have to understand that certain things about us devalue us to a degree when it comes to being in a relationship as women. And I'm not saying it makes us a bad person.
How about this?
Or we're not.
Not even that. Not that it necessarily devalue you, but I do understand what you're saying. It lessens the pool that you have to choose from of people that's going to accept.
Yes, exactly.
Because there are men that will accept that. You know what I mean? And there's women that will accept a lot of the clown behavior.
Yeah.
Right. So it just decreases the pool of quality candidates you get to choose.
Right. So why am I gonna, like, at 44, a mother of 3, working a 9-to-5? Why do I think that a millionaire?
That's your lotto.
Now, I'm not saying it can't happen.
That's your lotto ticket.
But why? What would he gain from dealing with me?
No, don't say that, Tiff. They'll come
No. But what I'm saying is his pool of choice. Now, I know what he could gain, right? But his pool of choices are going to be $1 million compared to my 500.
Right. And that's where we go. It circles back to what you're talking about. What are you provide? Like you said, what is it to him? Because if it's just ass and being eye candy on his arm, that ain't going to be enough.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But what I also understand is that there are 25 other 100 women like me that are average, and I'm saying average meaning in that fall in that spectrum, right?
The statistics that you're talking about,
right? That are gonna want that
children,
same type of dude,
right? Age, children, annual income, whatever, right?
Exactly. So it makes the chances of me being picked lessened.
Right.
Is all that I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it don't get me wrong. I know any man that, and again, I'm not being boastful, but any man that comes into my life, I'm unforgettable.
Absolutely.
Unforgettable.
Tell.
Even if we don't work out, I'm unforgettable.
Absolutely.
So I know that but what I bring to the table has nothing to do with my looks, has nothing to do with my sex game. I'm not saying any of that is bad.
Right.
But what I bring to him is something that he can't find everywhere. A
total package, right? So I'm the same way. Yo, when they be trying to circle back, they be like, "Oh, fucked up." They be like, it'd be like the scene on The Hangover. Yo, we fucked up. I fucked up. Fucked up. Yes, you did. Yes,
have a great life.
Yes, you did. No circle backs. Once I'm off, I'm off.
I'm off.
I'm off. Respectfully.
Respectfully signing off, Carolina.
Respectfully, that's how we gonna wrap up. We gonna wrap it up today. Yo, Tiff got it today, boy. We're gonna let Tiff run the show.
No, but listen, you spoke to the women. They want to hear from a man's point of view.
I hope
you
so.
Gave it to them, and they got it raw. So thank you, brother, for shedding your light.
No, I appreciate y'all, and I appreciate whoever it was that asked the question, and everybody else that listens.
So I think we should maybe start giving people who ask us to do certain things shout outs. We ain't got to do first and last name, but Bria brought that to me. Bria has supported me in anything that I do. She has always wanted to see me win. When I was doing my Facebook Lives, she was always tuning in.
That's what's up.
I had a bad night one time, and she was the first person that reached out to me like, yo, are you okay? Somebody was very inappropriate on there, and it really it messed with me a little bit. And she was the first person to reach out. And
being inappropriate on here.
See, brother, you can't scare the people off.
I don't want them if they're gonna be inappropriate.
I know that's right.
They need to be scared off.
No, but she jumped in during the live, and then she reached out to me after. But she's always been super supportive of me. Anything I've ever tried to do, and she always tells me that I have something to share to the world. So I appreciate her. She loves you and I together. And she said that we're going to do great things. So that came from Bria. So I hope we helped you, Bria. I hope we answered your questions.
Absolutely. Yo, and we love doing, please recommend stuff. That's great. That's the best. That's the best compliment you can say. Is like, yo, we respect y'all. We like y'all enough that I got this idea, this topic that I want you to talk about. That's dope. So, but we're gonna wrap this one up. I'm your man, Carolina. This is the amazingly prettiest Tiff. This is the Love and Flaws podcast with Tiff and Sen. As always, man, we love y'all.
Peace.